Hey crew, I've got the key to that 2022 Bentley Flying Spur Hybrid. We are going to take it for a drive, but first let's check out how it looks on the inside and outside. This one is equipped with three quote-unquote specifications, including blackline, Mulliner, and styling. So you get a blacked out flying B, top and bottom grills, accents for the cut crystal LED headlights and DRLs, carbon fiber front splitter. This paint job is called Jetstream II. It's a powder blue, and I think it's fantastic, especially when you see that interior. In profile is a set of 22-inch alloy wheels, wrapped in Pirelli P0 275 section front and 315 section rear tires. We also have 16.5-inch front rotors and 15-inch in the rear. There's a very subtle hybrid badge here above a carbon fiber side sill. Some black accents there on the side B, around the window trim, and on the tops of the door handles. Stepping back to look at the profile, this will take a minute. It is a very long sedan, 17 feet long, about the same length as your average full-size SUV. And it just sits so powerfully on those wheels, doesn't it? At the back, strong crease above the rear haunches, flying B LED taillights, subtle carbon fiber lip spoiler, blacked out quad exhaust ports, and a carbon fiber diffuser. This sedan just has so much presence. How about the interior? Opening up and looking inside at the Imperial Blue Leather interior with quilting on the seats, red contrast stitching, embroidered Bentley logos, fluffy pillows, open pore dark burr walnut wood trim. Look at that fat slab of it. Seat controls are here for everything, including massage. The seats are also heated and ventilated. There's a name 19 speaker 2200 watt sound system, illuminated Bentley tread plates, sliding in, closing up the door, not too hard because it's got soft close. Behind my own seat at 6 feet tall, I've got lots of leg room. The foot pockets are big to slide my feet under. There's headroom. We also have the full center console in this one instead of a fifth seat. So there's storage and 2 USB ports, cup holders under here, this tablet for the rear passengers to customize everything, including the climate settings, ambient lighting, raise or lower the sunshades. You can also eject it to play with it individually. There's a leather headliner, vanity mirrors, and 2 sunroofs. Honestly, what more could you ask for in the back seats of a car? Don't worry if you mess up closing the door because it's got you covered. Up front, we find heated, ventilated, and massaging seats as well. There's a 3D effect to the leather here, more of that open pore wood trim, flying B design on the door pulls, power folding door mirrors. Press that for the trunk release, where we find just under 15 cubic feet of space, some of that being taken up by the charging cables right now. It is, after all, a plug-in hybrid. Power close and lock feature on the trunk. Your charge port door is on this side, your fuel filler door is on the other side, and there's a metal cap. In just about 2.5 hours, you can fully replenish the battery via a 220 outlet or overnight via 110. Sliding inside, the driver gets a heated leather-wrapped steering wheel, red contrast stitching, reconfigurable digital instrument cluster, head-up display. There is a wood and 3-dial centerpiece here with your outside air temperature, your compass, and your lap timer, or hit the screen button, and now it's a 12-inch touchscreen display with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's leather on the gear selector, a knurled finish on the drive mode selector, more of that beautiful open pore wood trim. This is a sliding center armrest. You get your own sunroof, of course. Visibility out the back is excellent, and you have standard blind spot monitoring. Honestly, the mingling of exquisite materials, the leathers, the woods, the metals in this cabin take it so far beyond standard luxury. Let's take it for a drive now. All right, let's fire it up. It's a near silent startup. You hear the rotating display and the chimes of the vehicle more than anything else. We'll begin in Bentley drive mode, your daily driving mode. And for our E mode, we'll start off with the all-electric setting. And right now, the vehicle says we have a 27-mile all-electric range, and that's even better than Bentley's own estimate for the car of 25 miles. And I hit the PDC, the park distance control button here, and that prompts our surround view camera system. You get the bird's eye view, of course. You've got a super wide front view, super wide rear. You get shots of the side, trajectory lines out the back. You can also clean the camera monitor at any time with that button. And the resolution is extremely high. Very good camera system. So with that, let's head on out of here. Hello, Bentley Continental. Shall we do a horn test? Oh, how proper. Yes. Let's talk powertrain in the Flying Spur Hybrid. We have a 2.9-liter twin-turbocharged V6, same one you'd find in the Porsche Panamera, and that is mated to an electric motor and a 14-kilowatt battery pack for a combined 536 horsepower. Another Continental? Wow. 536 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. The whole setup is connected to an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox, sending power to all four wheels. And this configuration is definitely a transition point for Bentley as they prepare for the full electric conversion of their lineup by 2030. And so right now in electric mode, this is really what we can expect to experience of this kind of car in the near future. And when you're combining the cabin insulation and ride quality that is inherent to the Flying Spur, it's really a good feeling. Hello, Rivian R1T. I'll be reviewing you soon. Just wait there. Oh, there he goes. Wants to race right into the back of a Tesla Model Y. It's quiet, it's comfortable motoring. And if your commute is short enough, you never even have to kick on that gas engine. Did have to pull off momentarily because I noticed I was getting the pinwheel of doom on the screen. It was as simple as going out of a setting and then going back to the home screen to make it go away. Look at that view. Appreciated all the more via the comfort level of the Flying Spur. The suspension is superb. It's like a 10-step filtration process of a bump or undulation in the road, making it through into the cabin as merely a ripple. It doesn't waft quite as much as the Rolls-Royce Ghost I was just in, but in exchange for that, you feel a bit more connected to the road. How is the turning radius? Well, that didn't turn like a land yacht. Can thank the rear wheel steering system for that. And I did notice it took us out of EV drive mode. Perhaps too much throttle response? Yep. Too much throttle input will kick on the twin-turbo V6. So if you want to stay in EV mode, you have to measure out the throttle. Doesn't mean you can't go quickly in EV. You just have to, you can see here, you got to stay within the efficiency range. At those higher speeds, the cabin stays quiet. You can perceive a bit of wind noise, some tire noise, some road noise, certainly more than in that Ghost. In the Ghost, you heard next to nothing. But the Flying Spur is still so much quieter and more luxurious than a standard luxury vehicle. But is it quick? To find out, we're going to go into the Sport Drive mode, and doing that locks it in the battery hold feature, which is odd to me. You'd think it'd want to be in full hybrid so you get all the energy at your disposal, but alas, it holds the battery. And I believe the plug-in hybrid has the same launch control system as the V8 and W12 versions of the Flying Spur, in which I just hold my foot hard on the brake, pin the throttle, it'll build up the revs at about 4,000, and then rocket us off the line. We will find out, and we've got a race box set up here to record the 0 to 60. Here it goes. .3 seconds. Gosh, I love an all-wheel drive system for a 0 to 60 test. It was just like, brrr, we're going now. 4.3 is certainly quick. It's off the pace of Bentley's estimate of 4.1 seconds for the hybrid, which is a tenth of a second slower than the V8 and half a second slower than the W12. We did have a slight uphill to start us off, and that's probably worth at least a tenth of a second. I imagine you could do this enough where you'd see 4.1 seconds. Either way, that's quick for a 5,500-pound sedan. How does it handle? A wide contact patch, good tires, those Pirelli P0s, and a sophisticated all-wheel drive system certainly helps. It doesn't have quite the same flatness through the curve as that V8 I had, because that one had the active anti-roll bars, cutting out some of the lean. There was some lean, but it had the confidence. The steering was quick to turn in. The feedback through the wheel is muted, but it's absolutely better and more confidence-inspiring than the Rolls-Royce Ghost. See about the mid-range power. We'll go into manual mode. I get to use these beautifully knurled shifter paddles. Those downshifts are very quick. Mercy, it gets moving. Yeah, this is a hustler. Frightfully fast, in fact. And I love using these paddles. I'd probably do this more often than any other Bentley owner would. Yeah, the V6 still sounds refined, just not as raucous as that V8. Okay, out of manual. Let's go into comfort now. And let's put it in full hybrid mode. This now is going to use electric juice as needed in combination with the V6. And the handoff between these powertrains is expertly done. Because at low speed, it will behave in EV form, and then as it picks up, you don't feel the transition at all. You hear a little of that gas engine kicking on, but that's about it. And then when you're cruising, the V6 is imperceptible. I also love the tuning of this brake pedal because it doesn't have that characteristic mystery of, am I slowing down? Oh goodness, it's all of the braking all of the time. It's so easy to modulate. See right there, it kicked on the gas engine and I heard it, but I did not feel it. It's wonderful grand touring in the Flying Spur Hybrid. Okay, but one more good corner. Back into sport. Beyond the regen, let's see how these brakes hold up. Ooh, that is a heck of a pedal. Understeer, but then you can play with it. Yes, you distinctly feel the push of the nose, but with a little liftoff and then a bit of extra power, you can rotate the rear and have a good time. The extra 110 pounds over the V8 is perceptible for sure. It's still 110 pounds lighter than the W12 though. This would run circles around a Ghost or a Maybach S-Class. And now that we're on the highway, go back into Bentley mode, which kicks us into hybrid mode. We can engage the adaptive cruise control, set our following distance, turn on the lane keep assist feature, see how well it keeps us in the center of the lane as we approach a curve. Doesn't want me to keep my hands off the wheel for long, but it did negotiate the curve well. Still some ping-ponging happening. Useful for sure if you plan on taking the Flying Spur on a long trip. We've gone over the performance, we've gone over the efficiency. Let's talk pricing and competition for the 22 Flying Spur Hybrid. At a starting figure of $210,000, it's about 10 grand more expensive than the V8 version, but about $17,000 less expensive than the W12. It is more expensive than the Mercedes Maybach S-Class. The S580 is $185,000. It makes less power than this at 496. It gets to 60 in about the same. They say 4 seconds. It is way less expensive than the Rolls-Royce Ghost. $325,000 to start for that one. Makes a bit more power, 563. It's slower to 60 though, 4.5 seconds. And the fuel economy for both the Ghost and the Maybach S-Class is off the pace of the 20 combined for the hybrid. My verdict. First off, just thinking Flying Spur in general versus those two rivals. If you were going to be just chauffeured around, you can't beat the Maybach S-Class's rear cabin accommodations, the legroom, the technologies. It's just unparalleled. And the ride quality is very good. If you're going to drive your vehicle and the number one important thing to you is being relaxed, being comfortable, you can't contend with the Ghost. It's quieter, the ride quality is a magic carpet like they marketed it. It just is. But if looking good, having some fun, and still being extraordinarily comfortable is important to you, then I rule in favor of the Bentley Flying Spur. The caveat I'll add to that though, I would go with the V8. For the additional power, for the better soundtrack, for the fact that a V8 car is a dying breed, and I think it just suits this vehicle that much better than the hybrid, and for the fact that you're saving 10 grand, which, okay, when you're spending this amount of money isn't much, but for you to regain the cost of the added fuel expense of the V8 versus the hybrid, it takes so long, that I just don't see the benefits of choosing the hybrid over the V8. That's my verdict. Go get yourself a Bentley Flying Spur V8. I hope you guys have enjoyed this POV drive review. If you did, please like, comment, and share the video. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell to get notified. And I'll see you next time.